Hello friends, in this video we will rewrite the incoming URLs. Okay, so in a last video we created this predicate, right? If the incoming URL this, then it will redirect this request to the user service. So internally it will create this URL like this, right? This is our address of our user service and it will create this URL like this. So we have this same API present in our user service. Okay, let me show you. So right, so we have this same API present in our user service, like this is the user and status check. So similar URL it is created, but what if we don't want to expose this URL to our end user? So in that case we will trigger one of the URL, like so we will trigger like health check. Okay, and once we trigger this URL, internally it will create this URL. So in this video we will configure this type of setting. So for that we have one filter. That filter name is the rewrite path filter. So we will configure that filter. So this is copy this. This is the similar we need. Okay. So this is filter 0 and this is filter 1. So we have to increment it. And the filter name is the rewrite path. Right. Rewrite path. Good. Okay. So after that we have to configure the two URLs. That is, first is the incoming URL that is matches by the predicate, and second URL that the actual URL of our user service. So two URL we have to match. Okay, so first of all, uh, here is the word predicate. In that predicate, if the incoming URL this user and status check, then it will trigger that our user service. But what if we don't want to expose this and we want to expose some another URL, that is, like suppose that is the proxy URL like health check. You can add any URL here. Okay, suppose the incoming URL the health check and it is matches this predicate. After that, it will it will check that rewrite filter is already configured or not. If it is already configured, then it will check the incoming URL that is predicate is match this URL, and in the second argument we need the actual URL. So our actual URL is, we will copy in a user service, that is user and right, user and status check. So this is our actual original URL from the user microservice. Okay, so the incoming URL this, and it will check rewrite path. Our this filter is internal filter. We don't need to write anything about this internal filter. It is managed by our Spring Cloud API gateway. It will check that is predicate is match for this incoming URL health check, and it will redirect the request to our user state check API. Okay, so let's run our first discovery service. After that, our Spring Cloud API gateway and our user service. Okay, let's check our Eureka server. In our Eureka server, both our services are registered. So go to our Postman. Okay, so this URL we configure in our last video, right? But earlier we added this URL in our predicate. Now we change this URL in predicate to our health check URL. So okay, if we trigger this URL, then it will not work. Okay, request is going, and you can see the 404 error, that is not found. So that's why we can see this URL is not working. We rewrite this URL, right? So we rewrite this URL with the health check URL. Now we will try with this URL and send a request. Okay, now you can see this URL is working, the health check URL. Now in this way we can hide our internal API implementation, that URL, and we can expose any of the proxy URL to our end user. So this is all about this configuration of this rewriting URL path. In the next video, we will configure some filter in the Spring API gateway. So in that, we will understand how the how we can debug the code, or we can check how request is going. Thank you.